Wrong screen, fuck.
Incredible.
Hey guys, my name's Seth. I'm Botanist Cool. Today I am here with the Ace Attorney expert herself. Hey, it's Katie. Katie and I are here to play some more Ace Attorney. Hey there, Chip. Last I remember what happened was, well, Primordial Wolverine now. There you go. Last thing I remember that happened was, badge on our boy. Last thing I remember what happened was we got a lot of
Contribute to cult totem on your thing.
Oh, is that still up?
Looks like it.
Oh,
I can see it at least.
Let me take that down real quick. I will say this: we actually played a little bit of Cult of the Land before a little while ago, and one of the other gods started starving you specifically. Like we went to go fight them, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna starve your followers." Then Snowy Runes appears, and they starved you, and I'm like, "Oh no, Snowy!"
Rip.
Like, you're still alive though. We did kill Enki because Enki became a dissenter. He started spreading the blasphemy that my cult was fake, and I'm like, nah, man. It was time to sacrifice you. It was the first time we actually made a sacrifice in the cult, but that's a different story. Yeah, Chip was ascended. But yeah, it was a time. Anyways, last thing I remember was happening was everyone was lying to us. Everyone was keeping facts away from us, and everyone was making our lives harder. But what's new in the story, right? And that's where we left off. Investigate. Oh yeah, we're still at part 3. So we might hit the trial today. And Bot killed someone, and Bot also destroyed all the beds. Yes, I did. Okay, what do we have? We talked to you about everything. Still an edgy boy. Still an edgy boy. Right, and there's also like 5 of these on here now. Anything to talk to you about? Oh yeah, we got a presser on that. Let's try. Let's see what happens. I don't know if we can, but I just want to see what happens. Actually, there's 3. Shouldn't be too bad. I think it's time you told me the truth about what you were doing on that night. Hey, Mitchell. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth?
Yes, that's where I was.
Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe you're telling me too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. No idea who that could be. I love it. I love that they still have Lord Recess's official name up here. Who was the one that's submitting for Iris? Oh, Elijah. 100% Elijah. Well, oh, fuck. Alright, wrong person. He did see. Oh, this is another person. Lady. Sister Bikini. I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course.
Sister Bikini?
Her testimony in court today was very clear.
Last night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple.
Thank you for the look, Mitchell. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training last night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple the night of the murder.
That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The Acolyte's actual training was due to start at after 10 o'clock on that night. I left the main hall early, so I wouldn't be late.
What time was that?
Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main temple and the inner temple. Or sorry. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m., I think.
I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Now you say you left the main hall at 9:40, but what you say doesn't add up with this. Fuck. I gotta figure that out. That, because if she left at 9:40, she could not have rung the bell at 10. I got it. You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have.
Who's that?
Please let me present myself. Damn it! I wanted to present my defense attorney's badge. Me!
Mr. Wright.
We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten.
No, that's right. I remember.
And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. 10 o'clock the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the Inner Temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hashikura Temple. Oh, I love this logic. It's so great when you take out the fact that spirit mediums are a thing. Right? Because, like, we don't know where the fuck Pearl's been. Why don't you just pick the locks like Skyrim? I wish. I fucking can we do that? Can we do that? Katie, has there ever been something in like Ace Attorney 5 or 6 where Phoenix is just like, hold on, give me a second. He takes out like a spiritual lick. What's the word I'm looking for? Lockpick.
Lockpick.
Thank you. I was saying pick lock or pick lick or whatever it was. They got like a spiritual lockpick and just like toy around inside the lock.
Because that wouldn't really, like, make a lot of sense. Like, they're basically just sort of like visual representations of someone lying to you.
So you're saying the lockpicks are the deductions we've made along the way? Let
me say it. It's my personal interpretation that you can break locks without the Magatama, but like.
You don't know if they exist without the Magatama.
Exactly. Like, you just don't, like, because it's basically just someone is lying to you, and here's how deeply they're trying to keep, or they're going to try and keep that secret. Like, remember, Old Bag broke 5 locks when he gave her Edgeworth's signature, because she's just that stubborn, even though it was fucking nothing.
That was funny. Yeah, that was a good one. I remember that very well.
So the locks are really just to symbolize how stubborn the person is about something, and as you sort of wear away at arguments, they sort of lose their stubbornness because they can't keep the secret in the face of that, you know?
Remember, guys, lockpicks are the lockpicks we have are the deductions and the harassment and the bribes we've made along the way. That's what Katie's telling us.
Yeah. I have a lockpick set. I tried to learn. I'm not very good at it. That's
fair. See, this is the wild thing. Like, okay, so Katie sent me a meme earlier in the week about Ace Attorney. It's like from the outside, Phoenix Wright must seem like the most competent person for coming up with these wild shit, and I'm just like, yeah. Have you seen like he's obviously panicking on the inside because we see that, but like from the outside, who is going to say there were 2 of you and it's going to make sense except for Phoenix Wright?
So here's the thing. Do you want to know something about a future game?
Go for it.
So in Ace Attorney 6, you actually face off against Phoenix, and it's fucking scary. Because you'll see him make the stupid realization face, and you're like, I'm fucked! And you'll hear the objection theme play against you, and you're like, no, this is the theme that plays when he's about to prove someone wrong. No!
Wait, do you play as the prosecution?
No. You do a civil court case, between two defense attorneys.
Oh, okay. Okay, so... Okay! I gotta play that.
Or is it civil court? I forget what it's called, but...
But it's not like a murder trial.
It's not a murder trial, it's two people debating their own rights over property or something. I forget what.
Oh my god, I can only imagine going up against Phoenix is terrified, because he's just like, wait a minute, just like, fuck!
Yeah, no, he just pulls out some stuff and you're like, what the fuck?
You have to out-logic Phoenix as you've been playing as Phoenix for the past decade. Oh, that sounds horrible.
It's great.
There are two of you. On the night of the incident, you were seen in two different places at the same time, which means there must have been two of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris.
That's crazy. How could that be? It's only one of me. It's impossible.
Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise.
You're seriously trying to suggest that there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me there is something that proves there is more than one of me.
Man, I dated her back in the day. She was hell. I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps. That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yeah, I know. You said this was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There's nothing to explain now, is there, Iris? The second you were at the temple on the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, you just said yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground of the Quran channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's a secret you've been trying to hide from me. There we go! Finally got past her.
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted in the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the temple the night of the murder, it was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why did you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do.
Excuse me?
I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What's she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That's the start of it all. That's what started her down that twisted path. started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life.
Did I imagine that she always does the right thing after committing crime after crime? I'm sorry, I know it's serious, but like, girl, come on.
It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
Oh my god. What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful.
But I promised that I'd help.
Jesus Christ, okay.
And didn't do it for the money.
What'd she do it for, huh?
It was revenge on our father.
What? Revenge? What is going on here? Hey, Bloom Doom. Hey, Ethano. What do you mean by revenge?
The hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell.
Mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. The eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason that our father married our mother in the first place, for power.
I'm not supposed to be laughing, I'm sorry, but just kind of funny. It's like, yes. A psychic medium from a clan, that is not well known, to be fair.
No. Remember what Sister Bikini said. Before the DLC, or before the DL6 incident, they were well known in high circles as people who could help with that sort of thing.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, because I thought she had said that like they weren't well known until DL6, so they had to call them in.
No. That's why they look poor now, is because after DL6, it started going around that they were all frauds.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, I just feel like it's like, all right, like, so there's a place in Florida called Casadega, for those who don't know. And Casadega is like a spiritual, like, channeling place full of, like, tarot cards and stuff like that, right? And I ain't judging anyone for believing in that, but, like, I kind of find it really funny, like, Casadega is, like, the spiritualist camp of Florida at the bare minimum. And I just kind of find it funny thinking, like, oh, I'm gonna marry someone from Casadega because they have influence and power over Casadega. I just kind of find it funny.
But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Karain.
That'd be Misty Faye, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the Karain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Faye, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident.
Everything does come back to DL6. Damn, that parrot was right. Don't forget it, baby.
After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated that place. He said it was a hick dive and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hazakura Temple.
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how all the pieces fit together.
I have asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor.
I did all the asking!
This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fae clan.
That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing.
Dunk on him, dunk on him, dunk on him.
She said she hated his guts.
I see. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Hurry up, Phoenix Wright! There is still much to investigate.
Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left for me to unlock. Pearl's Psych Lock. Alright, let's go talk to Pearls. Oh, God, none of this feels good. None of this feels good at all. I was expecting Larry and Pearls to be here. I guess I must have gone to collect firewood. I suppose I'll have to check back later. Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was like wondering, like, where is the only... Forgot to ask, how's it going? It's going good over here, Athena. It's going good. We are enjoying our day so far. It's like someone's happy. What tune is it that they're humming? Good boy. No motive, no crime. No motive, no crime. Sing it with me. No motive, no crime. Wow, what voice am I doing? Hey, it's me, Gumshoe. Okay. No motive.
It's hard because this is like Victor Kudo's song. I don't know why it's playing now.
Yeah, it is Victor Kudo's song, isn't it? Anyways, I'm singing. Just pretend you hear me singing these words. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room in Karain. Oh, I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? Gumshoe never change. That's not what investigating's all about. The investigator investigates for the love of investigating. It's a passion. Good cases we have. Good cases we've lost along the way. I guess a Gumshoe was into oh God, okay, yeah, no, I fucking butchered that, baby. Every case gonna be airtight. Every case gonna be airtight. Hey, pal. Huh? Who, me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. Glad you didn't hear me singing. That would have been really embarrassing. So, what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. Promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? That Bob and sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper that look like a letter or something. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? Oh. So I gotta love it when a game's like, oh, this has nothing to do with the main point of the game. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The clues we found are no good, Phoenix. You're not just hearing anything. They're no good. Don't worry about it. It's all okay. Should we worry about it, Katie?
Yeah.
Next time. Next time for sure. So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know if I should be telling you, pal, but I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place at the Inner Temple Garden. And they're taking that bloody writing at the lantern pretty seriously back at HQ. What? You mean? I don't have the details, pal. All I know is if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with one ugly situation. Again. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me, I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godot. Godot? What does he mean by that? What's the letter you found? Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting a gut here trying to find the murder weapon. And all I found is some burnt up old letter. Hold on, wait, what does that say? Be careful, once night should be there as soon as you keep the bell. Let's channel her spirit, leave everything up to her. Okay. I had to like really lead in to read that. I bet you what's gonna happen is like in 10 minutes we're gonna see a full-blown picture of it. I wouldn't have had to lean in at all, but I saw that it's actually really legible, so like I gotta lean in. Burnt up old letter. Yeah, it's in the incinerator right outside the Inner Temple. The incinerator? I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow on the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away. Which means someone used the incinerator the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I got it right here if you want to take a look. Can I? You don't mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and master stuff. I bet it's no relation to the case whatsoever. Especially not because we're in a channeling school for spirit mediums and spirit masters. No problem. Definitely not related in any way, shape, and or form. Spirit mediums? It's gotta be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. And once again, Phoenix, I gotta stress this. It's just about spirit mediums and spirit masters. Nothing to do with the case whatsoever. In fact, I don't even know a spirit medium, so nothing to do with it. I better give it a good look over and some serious thought. Make sure you chuck it in the chat when you're done. Litter's a crime, pal. What did we do to deserve gumshoes? Katie, what have we done to deserve gumshoe?
We played the game, and he is our reward.
I love it so much. He's so good. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't the Shichishiro. That was found impaled in the victim's body. His address proved that in court today. Yeah, that's true. In which case, it might have been another blade. And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah, and man, it's tiring work, but let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. We got the feathers of forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? Please tell me the dog came back from like the first game. Please tell me the dog came back from like the first game, the good canine unit boy. What's the secret weapon of yours? You wanna know? You gotta think scientifically, okay? Alright? The murder weapon was a sword. Swords are scientific. Oh, yes, it's the metal detector! Let's go! I hope it's the same goddamn metal detector. I really do. I mean, the dog would have been better, but like the metal detector has more in-game significance, to be fair. But you know. Any questions so far? No. I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector! Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go? Huh? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. Gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Fuck yeah. on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. All right, then. I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the Papa's most advanced gadget, the absolute best. So sensitive, you can make it cry. It's so high-tech, you could skydive off it. Oh, brother. So I'm gonna tell you how to use it. It's possible the real murder weapon's around here somewhere, right? Sure, that's what we're trying to find out. Right, so first let's turn the detector on. The sound of the metal also it's the same thing as last time. The detector around, give the good courtyard a good looks, pal. And when that happens, press enter to give the area a good hard stare. Give me some metal. Oh god. Alright, take a look at everything and everything seems official, okay, pal? So, hey kitty, got a question.
Sure.
Can we do this on Karma? Did she take the bullet out when she was shot last game?
I think she did, because she was brought to the hospital, unlike her dad.
Fair enough.
Even if Edgeworth had to practically drag her there. Edgeworth said, we're breaking family cycles tonight.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Very important! Oh my god.
Look, a ladder! That's a step ladder. What's the difference? Looks like a normal ladder to me, pal. She was shot. Yeah, she was shot last game, Ethno. Surely everyone knows the difference. I mean, they're pretty ordinary objects. I met plenty of guys like you, always picking on the smallest details. The vegetable store guy near my place does it all the time. Even corrects me when I ask for a head of lettuce. That's a cabbage, he says. I'm telling you, they're the exact same thing. No, they're not. They're completely different. You have to plant both of them firmly in the ground before they can grow, don't you? Listen, you gotta take a step back and look at the bigger picture sometimes. Otherwise, you can miss a really important clue. That's advice from a pro, pal. Last person I need advice from this guy in front of me. I got an achievement. Ladders versus step ladders. Let's go.
Nice. Very important to always investigate the ladders and step ladders.
That Shichishiro next to the golden statue wasn't the real murder weapon, pal. Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd check it anyway again. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you know about the sword? It's supposed to represent the multiple branches that life can take, all ending as one. Yeah, I heard something about that. You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life I'd be leading had I not joined the homicide division? They with that kind of stuff, detective? Of course I do. I think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, me as a detention officer, me as the blue badge. God damn it. We had to bring him back up in this case, huh? Once again, we have to bring up the blue badger. All right. Something to be said about the humor value of Gumshoe as the blue badger. Wait, what? This looks like a wallet? Aha! That's where it's been. Oh, it's yours, detective? I'm always dropping it, so I put a bell on it. You still dropped it anyways. Yeah, but now I found it again, pal. Your wallet is completely empty. Well, I drop it all the time, so I don't put money in it anymore. I love you so much, Gumshoe. Then how come the metal detector picked it up? Must be because of the bell, I guess. Pick it up at least! Oh. That's how the sun's made of plastic. It says bikini number 1 on the side. Maybe there's something under it. Hey, what's this? A badge? Ah! Come shoot up!
I'm sure you.
Every time you look around, like, I found something else I lost. Oh.
Do you recall he's been at this for hours?
Yeah, and it still hasn't found. God damn it. I love it. I love it. I've been hunting high and low for that. It's yours, detective? Anything's priceless to a guy like me, pal. Cop can't be a cop without his badge. I'm sure glad I put that diamond there now. How'd you manage to drop your badge here of all places? I know, I bet it happened this morning. I was playing around with the sled and... Stop right there. I don't need to hear anymore. Jesus Christ. Oh, nothing here. Got the statue. What? Doesn't look like anything's here. Hey, pal, all you gotta do is watch the detective and let it tell you where you were, alright? Alright already. I'm not exactly a whiz at the machinery, you know?
You were off by like 5 pixels.
Oh, I was. This is Miss Demonim's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood. The detector is reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, things made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating unless it looks like it actually might be metallic. What? Gumshoe! Is that the whole point of methods to find metal where you can't see it? It's weird this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me look at it. Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the... Ah! The top is coming off. Look what you've done. You damaged a really important piece of evidence. Loki, redeem put on the cat ear for 10 minutes, and I'll do that. Cat ears are on. Ah, god dang it, it's really... It pinched my hair. God damn it. Thank you very much. I'll get 10 minutes on the clock. Get those cat ears on. Yeah. How you doing today, Loki? I'm gonna give you a quick shout out, actually, real quick. Ah! Quick shout out. Hold on. There we go. Whoa, it's like a cane sword? Let's go. That's a sword. Inside the staff. Is this... Could it be? The meta weapon? Oh my god. Gumshoe, you frickin' himbo.
Did the wrong one.
No! I never guessed there's to be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This is one of the real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. I think I should give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. The real scene of the crime is the inner temple garden. Excuse me. Then why is the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey Gumshoe, who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police don't know about this until I discovered it just now. No, he didn't. Well, as I say, there's no team in Gumshoe. Doesn't look like there's any traces of blood on it. I guess this isn't a meta weapon, huh? No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. That's a thing. Definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal. But the same length as Shishido too. This must be the murder weapon. Okay, I'm gonna run over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it's been wiped off. See you later, pal. Every case is going to be airtight. Every case is going to be airtight. Wait up, detective. Huh? Huh? What is it, pal? Pretty busy guy right now, you know. You're gonna get the staff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off just for a while? Huh? What are you talking about, pal? Please. Just until we find Maya. Maya? What's this got to do with her? I don't know. I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh! How so? Look, Maya's been trapped in a secret cavern right now, and, well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. You don't think? Maya's been... Detective, please. Just wait until we can get inside the secret cavern. You're looking kind of iridian there. Okay, just stop it with that face, pal. One thing, though. That staff secret trick, it's given between you and me, alright? It's sad that we knew anything about it and didn't say anything. We're finished. I understand. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill staff. You got it? Okay, now you gotta take care of it, pal. Thanks, pal. Thanks, detective. Don't worry. She'll be fine. Gumshoe? You know, there's a place at the base of the mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal? Sure. Thanks. Can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise Eminem doing with a staff like this in the first place? Who was she planning on murdering? This is all so suspicious. Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
You're too late, Nick. You came here for one of our potatoes? We've already polished them all off. I think I pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Tell me your secrets, little girl! Oh my god, she has 5 of them. Fuck, right. God. Jesus Christ, she has 5 of them. I think I gotta get chapstick because, like, my lips are always chapped even though I'm, like, hydrating excessively and regularly. So, like, I think I need to get chapstick.
I mean, if your lips are too wet, they're just gonna get more chapped.
Really?
Yeah, because if you put, like, water on them, like, on them directly, not just, like, you're hydrated, but, like, if you put water on them, then it, like, dries them out, like, it, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the cold weather, it, like... It just doesn't... If you keep them, like, excessively wet, like, chapstick is a whole other thing, but...
I mean, I just
like,
drink...
if you're constantly wetting your lips or whatever, I think you can make them chat.
I just end up drinking water, then I guess I lick my lips once in a while, but, you know, nothing like just pouring water on them.
Yeah. That could just be the weather. I don't know how cold it is where you are, so that...
It ain't too cold, but it's starting to get there.
Mm-hmm.
After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Eminem's room, reading a book together, right?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go?
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearls never went to Miss Eminem's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls. Oh yeah, we did go to this part. On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? You went here, didn't you, Pearls? But you're still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Next question is, who or what were you worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You mean you know?
If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth?
Okay.
You went to this place for one simple reason, and that is Maya. It's obvious you were worried about Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it?
Ah!
You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was a special course.
I signed up for your special course! Well, my, quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel.
Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the inner temple.
Now that we're clear that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls, what's not clear is what happened after that. I gotta read something. I forgot to read this thing. Be careful. Once night falls, should be there. As you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is, she is all, the whole. Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this, burn the, also about this letter. Gravely roast the master in the fire of Hades to bring our vengeful fruition. Okay. But what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
You heard the lights out bell. Other temple's bell is pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up on the sound of that bell. That's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
You were trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing the bell?
Huh? Oh, I
think I know why. The reason why you're so worried about that bell is because of this. You were given some instructions to follow for the night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper?
Where did you...
In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls! You were following the instructions on this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
These instructions that were found at the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? No.
As you can see, a large portion has been burnt, but the last sentence is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Take into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you're trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Detective Gumshoe! It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That's the name that was in the letter. Just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris who was the bikini man in the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. Doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was that asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for him. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? Fuck! I don't know if Morgan Fay got a message out of prison. But like, that's my gut instinct to say Morgan did it. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay.
Alright,
Alright, Pearls, it's time you start telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see proof.
What?
Cause I don't think you have any.
She'd say something rather than... She'd say anything other than to carry out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing, I should do it. Alright, Pearls. Both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There is no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it.
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have ever made a simple mistake like that.
Simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
Oh! I was wondering what gravely roast the master in the fire of Hades.
Are you pronouncing Hades as Hades?
No, gravely as gravy.
Yeah, but you're that's supposed to be Hades, isn't it?
The fires of Hades?
Hades?
I mean,
like hell?
No, yeah, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I've never heard it pronounced as Hades.
Maybe it's like one of those Mandela effects. That like I've heard it both ways. I don't know, but yeah, no, gravy is what I was like. I was thinking to myself like, why did it say gravely and not gravy? I was thinking to myself when I first read that. It was great. I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Oh, I was about to show the evidence. No, I gotta show the gravy. It was you who splattered gravy on his hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Why would I do something like...
You remember what this was written in this letter? Do you remember what was the words? Do you remember what was written in this letter? Gravely roast the master in the fire of Hades and bring our vengeance to riches. No, now it's Hades. Now it's Hades.
I've never heard it pronounced that way, that's all.
Now it's Hades. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How did you know that?
Remember the conversation we had with Mr. Manim in the night of the murder?
Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? Miss Elise, for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word.
Oh my god, she showed the instructions directly to... What? Wait, okay.
She either showed him or wrote it out, but I think, but...
It has to be shown, because I don't think she wrote it out. Here's the thing, right? Okay, so here's where my mind's going right now, okay? This is Misty Faye. She is a spirit medium. She just showed Misty Faye the instructions of what she's supposed to do. And that's why she was murdered by... Fuck, what's her name? Not Dahlia. Iris. Iris had to kill her. Or she, but because she couldn't have made her way, she couldn't have made her way over.
Question for your theory, Steph.
Yeah.
Why would that have been the reason that they'd have to kill her? What was the contents of the letter?
The contents of the letter were like telling Pearls to channel someone, right?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
The letter was saying, oh yeah, you have to channel someone, you have to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't know if Misty Faye knew who Dahlia Hawthorne was by the new name, or if that was the name that was given, because it's still Morgan Faye or whatever. Like, I don't know if she knew what Morgan Faye's husband's name was, if his name was Hawthorne. But like, imagine like an 8-year-old goes, oh yes, Mrs. Katie, what actor was giving?
What was that? Mrs. Katie, I would like you to read these instructions. And I look down and it just says, you take the knife and you stab it into Katie.
Exactly. So you're probably thinking like, oh my God, something's really bad. And imagine this like your niece that she doesn't know it's your niece, but you know it's your niece, right? Like I called out the fact that Elisa was really friendly with her. Because, and I'm like, that's why she's Misty Faye. I don't know if you remember when I said that. I did do that. But that was a decently on-point pro impression stuff. Thank you. But I'm just kind of like, what if Misty tried to disrupt that channeling somehow? And when she disrupted it, or when she tried to disrupt it, someone got in the way. Like, Iris might have had to have killed her. Or if she was killed at the site, right? But she was killed. She was killed at the thing. How has she moved over is the question. But like, there's a lot of questions. But I think Misty was killed trying to protect what's her name, Pearls. I think Misty saw the letter and was like, someone's trying to get Pearl dirty and trying to like screw over Pearl's life right now, and trying to screw over Maya, because even what's her name, Bikini was like, oh yes, it's me, Miss Bikini, Sister Bikini. I kind of went for like a Bane voice for a second. My bad.
She's born in the snow.
I was born in the snow. They're trying to destroy the whole family line. So like, I wonder if she was trying to protect Pearls and Maya, and that's why she got killed. Sure, Mr. Eminem taught you how to read the world gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant.
Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
I feel like this had to be less stupid in the Japanese.
No, it makes sense. Like, I think it makes absolute sense, but it's still kind of funny. To be honest.
I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless.
No!
I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right.
Oh god, it took so long to get this out of her. Oh shoot.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple. The pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I think it was miso in Japanese, but I can't remember what the wordplay was. But
that's
anyhow,
fair.
I was sure it was the Master of Karain, like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes. I I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyways, then you found yourself trapped in the inner temple.
Yes. When I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter in the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy and
let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. Must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Hey, KSG. 50. Leave behind when you fell asleep at school, too. But he played something so trivial to her experience, Larry.
it was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried, and I tried, and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll work all... it'll all work out. That's Katie. She's doing Pearl's voice. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky just for you. Whoosh! Just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is, anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
So did Misty Faye channel Dahlia Hawthorne, or is Maya channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? The problem is, if it's Maya, it would make sense why there's locks on the door now, right? Maya might have put those locks up subconsciously to, like, protect everyone and all that stuff, right? So that's not impossible. But if it's Misty Faye... no. It's just very confusing because, like, it could be. Is it Maya or Misty who channeled her? I do not know. Someone else. What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yup, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken.
Incredible. At least we know that he will respect boundaries.
Fair enough. Then that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Oh, she's dying soon. Cool. Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
The this letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month, she told me the time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and to do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. My mother is always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, moms do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture with her letter too,
A picture?
of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh? Well, Claire knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. Seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That's sure pretty strange. Someone opened it already? Now, I do want to say this. I imagine the guard that was directly behind Morgan was like, oh yeah, this convicted felon who tried to like kill someone, yeah. Please tell your daughter of all these secret things you're hidden that have secret, like, plans? Yeah, that's no big deal. We're just listening to you casually as you tell your daughter how to murder someone through spirit channeling. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
I mean, I think all that Morgan Fay said was, I have a letter for you somewhere, which, to be fair, is not terribly incriminating in and of itself.
In and of itself, no. But there's a huge... When the motive of the person who was originally put in there was to kill off or remove the current master so that her daughter can become the next master, there's something suspicious when you're saying, do it for me, do it for the Fae clan, and my visions of the Fae clan. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit, yeah.
That's exactly
but
what she
also
sounded
they're
like.
telling like a 9-year-old girl to do this.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It would be like, alright, this 9-year-old child is about to go on a killing spree, let's go. My mother is watching over us.
Is she dead already?
So I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Oh, poor Pearls. Look at the innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh. Finally figured it out. Have you, trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being paid. You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Godot! The entrance to this sacred cavern looks like a frickin' puzzle workshop. Because he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort? But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. No, it wasn't. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. I didn't know anything about what's going on. What did I just say, trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Heinous crime. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all.
Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
Now you tell an 8-year-old girl her mother's fucking insane.
My dear Pearl. You've done so well, my child. My Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now finally, after all this time, the master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
If Morgan Dead was she? Channel 2? I don't like that. How many challenges are we gonna have in this one? Jesus Christ. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a $5 so I can use the restroom. We're gonna take a quick little break. But we'll be right back in a few minutes, alright guys?
Sounds good.
Alright, see you in a second.
Alrighty.
All right, guys, let's get right on back into it. Let's get back onto this gravy train.
Oh boy. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearl.
Mr. Neck, please tell me, what's going to happen to Mystic Maya?
I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation's still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be in the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange! If you're looking for Irish, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh.
Excuse me, I had a sore throat.
Excuse me, I was coughing. If you're looking for Irish, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You've heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I've heard. Francisca von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Francisca's engaged in an important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nud's assistant, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly as we receive some good news. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared for a fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made up my decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks.
Babe.
Oh my god, Pearl, did you just hear him call me partner? Oh my god! I still don't have the answers for most of the riddles playing in this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise de Minim? No. Miss Misty Faye? And the impossible flight Larry claims to have seen? And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor? What are you... Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. There... Wait! Right! We have the normal judge back! Let's go! Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. Wait, so this judge is Canadian?
No, he speaks normal.
Wow. You heard it here first, guys. Katie says Canadians don't speak normal. Kidding, obviously. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyways. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. The court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Wow, you didn't even ask Sister Bikini, you asshole.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something you want to confess to?
Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright, what is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise, the Menin?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it into the Hazakura Temp yard, where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court, order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes of court, I'm already quartered into a cold sweat. Covered in a cold sweat. Huh? Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder.
You know how it be.
Yeah. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Oh. So is this the confession they were conferring about? It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone. No, I'm definitely up in the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming? Maya?! God damn it, Maya's being put on here again. Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous! Maya could never do... The defense will remain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going this direction.
So about Maya being framed for murder.
Again, yeah.
I went to the inner temple that night, and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. Whilst Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
There's probably a level of truth in there. Probably that literally Mystic Elise was being possessed by Dahlia Hawthorne. So it was in self-defense.
Yes. Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend. Isn't she?
You had a visceral reaction.
I do not ship it.
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit the murder.
There, we all understand how difficult it is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor.
That was such a visceral reaction. Holy shit. You're saying...
I just very, like, I know it's personal, yada yada. I just very much see them as siblings. So,
yeah.
Or not even that, like, I know the age difference technically, like, doesn't really matter. Especially since she's like 18 now, but like, I don't know. I'm just like very
they're older and younger. Yeah, they're old. They're siblings. So I get you.
It's not as bad as like if people ship like Francisca and Edgeworth like that. I get
That's
really
bad, yeah.
towards, but like, I just don't ship it.
No.
It's a, what do you call it? A squick for me personally.
That's fair. You're saying that the victim attacked Maya. I mean, Miss Faye.
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why did you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that? So she moved in and delivered a fatal strike.
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Aha! Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And at least the Minim tried to stab her with this weapon to kill Miss Faye.
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? There's one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with witness's testimony. You do? So this is your own client? Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, wait a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me.
Godot, you're held in contempt of court. Goodbye. Bring back Francisco.
Okay, now, let's continue. She threw her staff away.
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to affect a deadly blow of a staff. Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's odd, all right.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this.
I see where the contradiction is. I just want to see what happens. And then?
Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something.
Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see. This is bad. Still can't put the pieces together unless I find a contradiction. Maya's gonna be blamed for this.
I only have this to say.
Sister Iris! There's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Deminim throwing her staff away makes no sense to me at all.
But all you can do with the staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise really wanted to kill Miss Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger, not when she had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought that there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, that's right, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present its evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright.
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony cannot be trusted. Because Mr. Elise would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Elise Eminem would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Eminem. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey!
No, not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Faye? Is she related to... Misty Faye is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Faye. Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donim actually the great mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her own daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years, perhaps the prosecution can offer an explanation for why she would do such a thing. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness' testimony, it seems natural enough. However, in light of some facts I've just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two had been battling to death her mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, it seems to be the story. The entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what's the one little thing? Huh, you still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken my first sip of my 8th cup of the morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is the dagger the witness testifying seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you notice something else? Now you mention it. If you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? The dagger was stuck in the back side of the pine tree. And the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my... Just as I had first taken my first sip of the 13th cup of coffee this morning. Whatever, words. Did you just say it was 8th a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such a short notice. In any case, the court will accept this dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Can
So
we test the cane sword? No,
yeah, right.
I guess not.
Right.
All right, goodbye, bailiff.
Thanks for not taking the sword. Now then, the testimony we have heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls. Oh, come on. Cute girls never lie. Ever.
My man.
You would be horrible. Wait, you were at the case of Dahlia Hawthorne!
I was just thinking that. I was like, you have evidence to the contrary, my man.
In any case, witness, could you please testify again to this court?
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
What a sim. Yeah, what a sim.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That's true, Ethno. That was a heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That sounds reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, let's see how this goes. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them have noticed you, they might have not continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. Two of them, they're standing near this garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind.
That's not Elise's face. To be fair, that's not Elise's face. Is it Elise's face? It doesn't look like Elise's face. It doesn't. It looks.
I mean, it doesn't have the lipstick, and she's definitely not zenned out, but...
Yeah. Okay. But we also don't see Maya's face, though.
And also, this is her recounting, so...
Yeah, but usually these pictures are pretty darn accurate for what they are, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It was dark where the two of them were, so... I think that's why they didn't see me.
Wait, hold on. We don't have a picture of that area. Fuck, never mind. So it's dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Maya Fey do after she was struck? What happened to the victim's staff, then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I couldn't really see. I think he got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description is a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. Wait, what do you mean? You're the one who's... Anyway, so after Maya Fey was back the victim to Stone Lantern, what happened next? Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost? Wait, okay.
Mind meld.
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was at least Eminem. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? I don't really have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she... Oh, right. We already read that.
Yeah. Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. That's the most likely explanation, yes. After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that's completely impossible. The idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this whole testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Just describing staff. Oh. Stab from in the back. On the same level, professional. I'm sorry, Chip, but we have seen the Ace 30. Something about what you just said isn't right, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim should have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Ah.
That proves the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
Ah.
What does it mean, this, Mr. Wright? Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You've got my drift? No. Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and logical metaphors already? The point is, too much of the testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? They're 200. I want to wring his neck.
I like it. That's like starting off. It's like, yeah, Godot's funny, and then by the end, you're like, I want to kill this man. That's how I feel.
He does nothing but talk about his goddamn coffee and fail at prosecuting. Like, he does nothing except coffee, I'm so bitter and dark. Oh, I could be the Batman or some shit. Oh, woe is me. I didn't protect the person I was in charge of protecting. So I'm gonna blame another person who had no idea what was happening. Woe is me. No, I'm good. No. Coffee bitterness. No. No, 253 bitterness. Fuck you, Godot.
Wow, you're really angry. That was some real rage in there.
Fuck Godot, okay? Fuck Godot. I thought he'd be cool, smooth jazz at first, and fuck this guy. Oh.
Alas, much like the bitter dregs that remain after you've sucked away all of the delicious coffee, there's nothing to him but dark, nasty sludge. See, I can do it too. Yeah, it should have been like, I should have given him the Shadow the Hedgehog voice for being so fucking edgy, and Edgeworth should have like a legitimate voice. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Edgeworth's voice is like broody, edgy, but Godot, you are so much cringier. Like, holy shit. You're like a 15-year-old who had his first taste of coffee and can't compare anything else and wants to pretend to be a fucking adult, but you're not. You're a spoiled kid who thinks he's deep and who thinks that because he read some fucking, like, what's his name, Nietzsche shit, that you think, oh, I know everything about the world because I took Philosophy 101 in high school. Fuck off. Legit rage.
I'm pissed at him. Legitimately. I thought he might be a fun character at first. I really did. In fact, I was arguing to Katie that he might be a fun character, and Katie's like, no, Steph. And now I'm like, okay, Katie, I understand where you're coming from. Fuck this guy. Oh.
I mean, we'll have to see, because I remember, like, at the beginning, I was like, I don't like this character, let's see if he's as bad as I remember. And he doesn't start off as bad as I remember, but then this case just comes and you're just like, very tired of this man.
Really roasting Godot. God damn, just like how you roast the ever so bitter coffee beans. Oh, fuck this guy. Also, hold on, time out. You know, I'm gonna go one level deeper in roasting this bastard because
oh my God.
Look at his fucking sleeves. Why does he have belts on his sleeves?
Is that not a thing?
That's not a thing to put belts on your sleeves.
I think it's a thing for, like, if you're supposed to, like, have your sleeves, like, tied up, there's like a garter for it so that they don't unfurl.
His sleeves are not tied up. His sleeves are all the way down. He's decided, okay, let's be extra edgy and put some belts on our fucking sleeves for no goddamn reason other than the fact.
Man, I've seen Kingdom Hearts and Rune Factory. This is like the mildest of what is that character design doing. Have you seen Jones from Rune Factory 4?
We're not in a fantasy JRPG though, that's the difference. We're in a pseudo-fantasy legal thing. Like, there's some edgy designs. Like Edgeworth, his first design when he tried to express himself was a little edgy. Okay, a lot of gold, a lot of flair. It makes sense though with Edgeworth. Why is he just wearing fucking belts on his sleeves?
I don't know, man. I can't have the energy to dunk on him when I play a game where I'm sending you the image. There's a man who looks like this. Look at his sleeves, okay? Tell me that I shouldn't be angry about his sleeves.
No. His sleeves are bullshit too, don't get me wrong, but like...
His sleeves are buttoned onto his other sleeve.
But like this is a lawyer. Chip says when you finish a nicely brewed cup of coffee, gets to the bottom, you have the substance that we call Godot. You're really bitter about Godot, aren't you, Steph? Almost as bitter as the 253 different types of bitterness in coffee. Listen, I enjoyed him at first. I seriously did. I thought he was a little fun little change of pace.
Yeah, he's fun at first. It's fun to have just this like a little pretentious coffee man, but
but literally every other statement, like if he made one or two statements in like a portion of a course, right? Like the set, like the I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee. Like that's a funny joke, all right? And you can count the cups of coffee and have a good time. That's a funny joke, all right? But when literally everything he said in the past 30 minutes have been coffee, coffee, coffee. Did you know humans have a back and a front like books? Coffee, coffee,
back
coffee. Whatever. It's just so goddamn pretentious. Jesus Christ. You be really bitter after this case. Just
like the taste of coffee.
Oh, God, I can't deal with this, man. But to pick out each one requires total... You fucking sommelier piece of shit. Now, see, this is... Here's another thing, right? You know, all those sommeliers like, oh, yes, this wine has the fine scent of nutmeg. You don't fucking know what you're talking about. You can be handed a $5 thing from fucking Target, and you wouldn't know the difference between that and a, like, 1553 Bordeaux or whatever. Fuck off. Godot.
Some people do.
Say again?
Some people can. Some people can. It's crazy. But...
Okay, super tasteless, whatever, but like, in all reality... Like, he is as pretentious as a sommelier with the person who believes that nothing matters in the world. That's Nietzsche, right? Nietzsche's like the guy, the nothing that matters in the world. That's Nietzsche, the philosopher. Alright, he's a nihilistic sommelier guy. Nihilistic is the word I'm looking for, right? Hold on. What is the definition? Nihilism is like when nothing matters in the world, right?
Yeah.
Nihilism, the rejection of all religions and moral principles, the belief that life is meaningless. Yeah, he's a nihilistic coffee sommelier who can't get over the fact that he failed to do his job in protecting his junior and let her die, and wants to blame someone who had no idea what was happening, cannot take responsibility for his own actions, and can't even beat a junior at his own goddamn game.
Steph, I have so many things to say, and I can't even say them now. It's the thing.
All the jokes about the 250 different classes really making me as bitter as the 253 different types of bitterness of coffee. Everyone's just saying him as... And Bot, play this game or I'll throw a cup of coffee and talk about who's bitter. Just coffee bitter jokes here. Were you really concentrating on what the witnesses actually said?
No, we're too busy making fun of you. Please explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous of her own ambiguous... Fuck you! This is the bullshit. Oh yeah, it was unambiguous about being ambiguous. Fuck you. That the garden was dark so she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see. If you say coffee, I'm gonna fucking murder you. And that is light. Oh, thank Christ. Light! The tiki torches were lit though, because there was a fire underneath them. By the way, did you know? Azakura has a rule on nights that an acolyte is in the temple trading. The stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. Huh. I did wonder what the stone lantern over there was for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nurse's bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. More enlightening. Yes, the illuminating fact that chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it'd be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Fuck you. Isn't that right, trite? No!
No, incorrect.
Order! Here, Your Honor. Let me present this stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Okay. Why is he just sitting there with a look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was the flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood. Oh boy. The judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood. It says Maya upside down. What the?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Hold on, timeout. This is gonna be the funniest shit if it's the truth. Did Godot's red fucking tinted visors make him not see the blood? Like, you know how 3D glasses work, right? The blue and red ones? Like, one thing you get is blue, one thing you get is red, and therefore the red covers the red and the blue covers the blue, and you can't see them, right? So it comes into your eyes and they're actually two separate things as if they were separately put apart. That makes them 3D, right? Is he doing the same thing just with one color? Did he not see the blood because of his fucking glasses or mask?
After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you talking about? What do you mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's clean as a whistle. It is, oh my god. It's his red fucking visor. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. That's what he meant by that. In any case, it's obviously an important clue. Now we know.
I don't know if they bring it up later or not, but but this was actually alluded to in the third case.
Really?
I think it was. Remember when they were talking about the apron, and he was like, "There's nothing odd with that apron," and they're like, "It's covered in."
Yes, I do remember that actually. I do remember that.
That's why I really like Ace Attorney writing, is they allude to this stuff, and it's so good. Mwah.
That's funny. Well, Mr. Godot, any further questions? Mr. Godot. Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Mr. Nim was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong! Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Imagine being a prosecutor that cannot see blood in crime cases. Let's hear it. We're all ears.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. I removed the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. I used a snowmobile to carry it up to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shichisi Shito to alter the way the wound looked.
So you move the body.
Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of my thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Donim was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But...
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
yes. And that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. There's such bullshit coming from this. Like, you can smell the bullshit. You can smell the bullshit. It's so stinky. So stinky. Yeah, let's continue on. So you waited till everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't it your job to, as a judge, to mediate the argument?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
Beige is too common of a color. I go with blue because there's a lot of cultures already that don't see blue tints. And they seem to be going just fine. And even in some like ancient Greek texts, like it talks about the ocean being like the color of wine, which implies that thousands of years ago humans hadn't evolved the ability to see blue as fluently as we do now. So I choose blue to be the color tint that I would have through my life that I wouldn't be able to see. What about you there, Kitty?
I think for that one, it might not have been that they couldn't see it. It's just it's interesting because actually there's a whole thing about how having a word for something actually influences how you can interpret and understand that.
Yeah.
So for example, I think there's something where it's like I'm trying to remember what the study was, but there's like a study where it was like which of these like colors is like different from the other, and I think it was like a bunch of different shades of green and then like a blue and or something, and like some cultures like had a harder time identifying
the study
blue.
you're talking about is a very interesting one because that study was talking about some local tribes. I don't remember where from. I think it was Central America.
Oh, so you do know that one.
That study actually, what they determined with that study was that they were unable to differentiate blue from green because they had a harder time telling them apart. Not that they didn't know what it was, but they didn't.
Exactly. So,
but they also had a distinct advantage when it came to telling apart different shades of green, more so than a normal person. So what they determined was because of the civilization and the needs of the civilization being more of a hunter-gatherer civilization, or a tribe that wasn't as sea-based or requiring the color blue, they determined that in theory they needed a green more in order to tell the difference between certain plants.
Right, but I think it was not that like their eye color was different, or their eye, like, you know, like it's not that they didn't see it. I don't think as much as it was the word issue, or like, you know what I mean? Like, did they have like a bunch of different words for different shades of green, but not really a lot of them for blue? Or I'm trying to remember what it was.
The thing was, it was more along the lines of they were actually able to see different shades of green than people who weren't. So like, the really cool thing is when it comes to biology, there are people who can see more colors, right? There are people who can see more colors than other people. They have a fourth rod in their eye, or a cone. I don't remember which one it is. They'll actually be able to see a wider variety of colors, which is really cool.
I mean, I think that's part of it, but I need to look at it again because like I do think that like part of it might be because I thought I remember reading something about the language, and it's been so long since I saw the study that you might be correct.
I'll have to go through it again myself, but that's what I took away from it, was that they actually did not have as fluid of an ability to detect the color blue, which makes sense because like we have a lot of color blindness in this world.
Yeah. I when I read it, I thought the takeaway was that they just didn't discern, like.
Hold on one second.
I thought it was a language thing, but
All right, hold on.
I want to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now, actually. So the Odyssey, Homer describes the ocean as dark, as a wine dark, or and other strange hues, but he never uses the color blue. A few years later, a philologist, someone who studies languages and words, called Lazarus Ganger, decided to follow up on the observation and analyze ancient Icelandic, Hindu, Chinese, Arabic, and Hebrew texts to see if they use the color. He found no mention of the word blue. When you think about it, it's not crazy. Other than the sky, there isn't really much in nature that is inherently vibrant blue with flowers, but anyways. In fact, the first society to have come up with the word blue was Egyptians, the only culture that's produced blue dyes. From then it seemed that the awareness of the color spread throughout the modern world. That's because there was no color for blue. It doesn't mean that our ancestors couldn't see blue. There would be various colors, but one of these most compelling was published in 2006 by Jules Davison, a psychologist from the Goldsmith University of London. Davidoff and his team worked with the Himba tribe in Nambia, in Nambia, and their language. There's no word for blue and no real distinction between green and blue. To test whether or not they meant that they couldn't see blue, he showed members of the tribe a circle with 11 green squares and one obviously blue square. Both obvious to us, as you can see below. But the Himba tribe struggled to tell Davidoff which square was different colors, because he didn't ask what the color was. He asked which square was a different color. Those who did hazard a guess that which square was different took a long time to get the right answer, and there were a lot of mistakes. But interestingly, the Himba had a lot more words for green than we do. So to reverse the experiment, Davidoff showed green speakers the same color experiment with 11 squares of one shade of green and one odd square for a different shade. As you can see below, it's pretty tough for us to distinguish the squares. So yeah, it's on science alert. Just what the odd difference is straight away. FYI, it's this one. Okay. Yeah, I can't tell the difference between those two pictures. Fuck that. The native Russian speakers who don't have a single word for blue, but instead have a word for light blue, golubyi, and dark blue, sini, can discriminate between light and dark shades of blue much faster than English speakers. Until they had a word for it, it was likely that our ancestors didn't actually see blue. Or more accurately, it's probably that they probably saw it as we do now, but never really noticed it, and that's pretty cool. So
yeah, so that's what I was saying is that line right there basically says they saw blue, they just didn't see it as
But the weird thing is, like, when you say when Davidoff was saying, hey, there's 11 squares here, which one's a different color, and they couldn't tell which one's a different color, that provides evidence that there was a difference there.
The way I interpret it is that it's not so much that it's like it's trying to comprehend something that like you don't notice. Like, you know, it's like asking, like, a baby which one's the square and which one's the rectangle. Like, the babies can see that one is a square and one is a rectangle, but it doesn't have those terms. Like,
but the baby can say what, but you can tell the baby, are they different? Like if you put
like a square, a rectangle, and a triangle next to someone who's still learning their shapes, they could get the rectangle and the square confused.
But that's not the question. The question is if there are 3 squares and 1 rectangle, and you go, which one is different?
Well, here's the thing: is like, for example, they have like different words for blue, right?
Green.
That one tribe, or they also mentioned one had blue.
That was a Russian one, yes.
Yeah, right. But it's like, if you said if you had those 2 shades of blue and you were like, which is which? It's not necessarily that you can't see that. It's like, you know, like if you're asked what color is this, you would say blue. You wouldn't say, you know, like, oh, this is clearly a different color. You might say like, this is blue.
But then the problem comes with actually doing the exact opposite test, though. So they did a test in which they said, hey, can you see the color blue? And they had trouble seeing the color blue.
Because it...
Now,
well,
but here's the thing, right? When you have the opposite test happening, where it's like, here are several different shades of green, and only
because
one.
Because they had the different words. They had lots of different words for the different shades of green.
But it's extremely hard. But like objectively looking at this picture right now, like it is insanely hard. So like if I were to give you this picture.
But what if you had different words growing up for each of those different colors of green that you were taught?
I mean, you could. That's not a thing. You
send me the article, because that last sentence, it's not.
No,
that
the last
they
sentence was
didn't
like, yeah, no, or more, they probably saw it as we do now, but never really noticed it, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they probably saw it as we do now, but never really noticed it.
But the thing about it is, there is actual evidence to show that one, people do see more colors than other people. Like that is a proven thing, right? Can you post the article on Discord later? Sure. I'll actually try to find like this is like the sciencealert.com, which is, mind you, a very broad scope, not the actual peer-reviewed thing. So this is a very broad scope thing. If you want the actual peer-reviewed thing, here we go. No thanks.
What I'm trying to say is that my interpretation of this article is that our ability to have a word for something more easily allows us to quantify it and determine that it is distinct and different.
That's fair, but the thing is, at the same time, when you see that one, there is actual cases where people do have more, or the greater ability to see colors, and you see that people can see different colors.
Yes,
for different things.
I'm not saying that that's not the case, but
also like, go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but basically, like the overall like it's obviously the case that like some people can see colors a bit differently, like especially when you factor in colorblind and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is I don't think that is what the article is saying based on the concluding sentence.
From the way I tell you, because of how they ran their test, for me it feels like they said, hey, we got 11 shapes here, which one's the odd one out? And they couldn't find the odd one out perfectly, or it took them a lot of time. And then they said, hey, we have 11 different ones here, which one's the odd one out? And then for this very specific shades of green, they can be like, ah, yes, that is the one, that is the one specific green.
That's because the 2 kinds of green here are labeled with 2 different himbo words, so they see the colors as unrelated. So it's most notably, it's not just sort of different shades of green. It's shades that
They have words for it. That's fair.
they have words.
But here's another question. If you can't tell the difference between two things, do they have one or two words? As an example, if someone cannot tell the difference between two different kinds of phones, like an iPhone 11 GTX and an iPhone 12 GTX or whatever it is, right? And you just see that's an iPhone. You call it iPhone. Like me, I don't know the difference between iPhones. They're all just iPhones to me. They do have their specifications, right? But they're all just iPhones to me. Now, if you are unable to tell the difference for a biological reason, would you have a reason to even have different words? You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah, but
like if you can't see different kinds of greens, why would you have two different kinds of colors for the color that you can't see?
I mean, short answer is you wouldn't, but like this blue-green is like a very common thing. Like in a lot of cultures, I think the words for like blue and green are like the same. So it's I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it was like one specific subset of people that suddenly developed the ability to see blue.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. It's been on for a while now. Hey, you remember our mortician friend? That we talked about the Bruisey a little while ago?
Yes.
They also did a lot of archaeological studies and shit in the past. I'm gonna ask him this question because I want a third opinion.
Right. Send them this argument, and again, from I haven't done like massive studies into this or nothing, but from this, it's language color theory. The tag is language changes how you see color. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I mean, no, I get that, but also at the same time, like, I find it really funny because they're an artist, historian, and mortician, so it's gonna be great. Hey, I got a question. Once again,
we got super distracted. No, this was very important.
Let me write this question real quick because they might be able to answer it within the next like 5 minutes, right? Okay. When it comes to the whole thing about blue being described as dark wine, and some tribes/cultures being unable to having difficulty with telling apart blue and green, what is your opinion? Currently, my conversation has two sides. One being that perhaps there were biological / evolutionary traits that preferred the development to see more greens and less blues, while the other is saying that when languages accommodate more colors are noticed.
When languages, I guess it's having a word will help narrow down.
When languages define more colors, how does that sound?
Yeah.
When languages define more colors, you know, when languages define more more colors, like different greens, then they are noticed more. Not that ancient Greeks couldn't see blue, but they didn't have a word and as such never noticed. What's your take? There you go. We'll see what they have to say. I don't know if they're on right now.
With our heated debate.
Yeah.
Far more intense. Poor Maya's dying in a cave right now, and we're just like, but the color blue, though.
The color blue. It is 10:06. Do you want to continue, or do you think we should save it for next time? Like, how long do we have left?
I feel like everyone here has been hanging on for a long time, so let's go a little bit longer.
A little bit longer. Okay.
So that we don't end on our classic green-blue debate.
Our classic green-blue debate we have every stream. The English class is one right subject. Monsters today, humans. Oh, hey, Remus. And it led me to be said, oh my god, Jesus Christ. So then, you knew? You knew that the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Can you have a cyan orange debate next stream? No. When did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself.
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh?
I dragged it behind me all the way to Dusky Bridge.
It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across that rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy, despite its age.
It's like they say, it is too simple to even catch a cold. But here's another thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body to Eagle River? That's actually a good fucking point. It would have been much easier than dragging all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Ha! Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part I questioned the other day. Should I ask for more details? Yes. Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Adele, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she says she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly sure that's what the record indicates. Let's recall our comments on the subject.
Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate, the snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Damn, prosecution called you out, baby. Order, Mr. Godot! Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Also, I used to be a defense attorney, so it happens to be in my nature. I'm still a bitch.
Well, maybe.
See you later, Chet.
Mr. Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Ah, whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about? How would Godot want to give me a hint? Very well, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then I used the... yeah.
I want to see what the second one says. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect the tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are those the tracks from the ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Miss Wright? Do you have a problem? What do you think about this testimony? It's very important. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make any sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris made to be added to the testimony. But, does that have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow our statement to be added to the record. Huh. This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I've trapped it this time. I see. I see how you think. Snow, huh? What's going on here? If we get stopped by the time of the murder, you mean there'd be a bigger hole in the story than the movie The Grid Wait, what? I don't get this reference! Huh.
I don't know that. No.
Well then, perhaps...
Someone apparently had really big feelings on that movie, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather at the end of your index finger. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. I was just trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. So what's the evidence? This has to be it. Because what she's saying is, before 1050, the snow stopped because she wouldn't have been able to get from one side of the bridge to the other after 1045, which is when it stopped. In other words, she had to have used the snowmobile to get there before 1045 because the bridge was on fire, which she's not dragging a body over that. Fuck! It was the right... Fuck you, Judge! That's the right fuck you. That's impossible. That literally disproves her right there. The bridge was on fire! That bridge was on fire, you bastards!
I hate it when that sort of thing happens.
This is supposed to be. Is this one of those bullshit ones?
Probably. Let me consult my memory.
This is one of those bullshit ones. I'm not happy with that.
Come on. Did you?
Did I what? I did not. I did.
You might have pressed the wrong statement. Or you present. Wait, hold on. Yeah. So go to that one, that statement again.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. That one.
Yeah. That's the one I did.
Are you sure? Try it one more time. I want to see with my own eyes. Oh. That's literally what the guide says to do. I'm very confused.
Is that what you're doing when Mr. Bikini saw you?
Oh wait, hold on.
I'm just gonna skip through this part because I just want to see if that's.
Is that, or maybe. Are you okay? Go to the first statement in the testimony. Okay. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Okay. This is fucking stupid.
This is where I have to present it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
So dumb.
You
Why
hear-
not the other one?
It's the same fucking. You. Ah! God damn it.
Sometimes Ace Attorney be like that.
God damn it. Oh, it's frustrating as shit. That's frustrating as shit. You claimed the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50. But you couldn't have crossed the second bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, the second bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire.
What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that burned the bridge down.
What? But it can't be.
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No!
Order, order, order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
I thought he was just gonna insult me us again.
Yeah.
Like, you fright.
Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Well, yes, it does!
No one gets... Perjury is not real.
Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Then finding out she lied is important! Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise de Minim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise de Minim's body. He makes a good point, on both accounts. What are you claiming this time?
Myself at all that night. Memory's still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at the witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It's only human to err. If you're so perfect right, maybe you can explain this to the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already been burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. Not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across the burnt out bridge, but unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah. All right then, witness. Let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you've moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contains a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be your final testimony?
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge?
Flight! It's a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of the Dusty Bridge after it burned down from a lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across the bridge in that condition. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth, and Maya will be accused of murder. Right, I'm only going to say this one more time. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Then I get those prosecutor. Alright, let's do this. After beating this part of our testimony, we will end for the night, and yeah. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place.
I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally,
By the way, we have like a little bit after this one, and then it'll be a good stopping point, I think.
Sounds good to me.
It depends on how fast this next one is,
But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow.
But you seem to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the someone had already stopped.
Terribly sorry. I was wrong.
Does she really think that an apology is going to get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law.
Oh, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Huh? Well, naturally it was,
You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been a kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation. No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite. What?
But I have so many.
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see some proof. Show me some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. I don't want to present it. I don't want to present it.
Yes, you do. By the way.
I have to present it. I don't want to, but I do have to. I have to present this. God damn it. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule that possibility out. What? What is this game exactly, Ethno? Huh. You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible by your claims that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous!
Preposterous. Mr. Attorney, you must be wise.
Mr. Attorney, preposterous! Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I gotta keep this on the attacking. Go, go, go. Miss Elise Dimonen's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Dimonen. Brilliant. Highly gifted.
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony? The night that he was in the mountain shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Huh. Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes! I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You've been trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with the sketch? Upside down? Why did Godot say that? Alright, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think Whiskerface is gonna forgive me for making any more mistakes. Hold on. Do we have the picture of Larry's thing upside down and she actually went below the bridge? Because if Larry saw it from below, right? And he saw it upside down. No! Are you fucking kidding me? Because... Oh! Larry didn't see someone flying above the bridge. He saw someone swinging below the bridge and couldn't tell the difference because he was 1, under the bridge, and 2, looking at it upside down. Fuck this game. I hear you laughing in the background, Katie, but it's so... I do want to see this because I barely hear it myself, guys. But Katie is cackling in the background. All right, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. This is exactly what happened.
By the way, according to the guide, if you chose a complete contradiction, it would have a moment of hilarity for no penalty, allegedly.
Fuck.
So tragic.
Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right here in the sketch. Whoosh! You know, you started to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? The last thing I wanted to hear. If any evidence that the victim flew through the air. Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult in the inner temple yet. I wish they had. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. Okay. There must be some way, I just know it. There must be some way... I didn't get a penalty there. I'm pretty lucky about that. I put exactly what happened. I can't say evidence of nothing. Something obviously funny about this sketch. I'm not crooked, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Larry Dimmonen stated it over and over that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
Oh, I read the thing backwards. Exactly what happened is the penalty-free.
Oh!
I read it, they phrased it weirdly, but...
Fair enough.
Yeah, you got it. You got the funny.
It contradicts reality?
Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? The flying figure, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet, or did I miss something?
Mr. Wright, the answer just now. It was lethal.
Mr. Wright, after dragging us all the way to this point, the answer was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, I'm actually blushing. Blushing only suits women, not the elderly. Anyways, what now? I don't know if rethink things is gonna get me back to the other thing. I decided to rethink the whole thing. That sounds like a wise idea. No, I'm not going to think that far back. So okay, alright, that's what I wanted to test out real quick. I think a blush looks good on the judge, fair enough. The fire, because the fire goes up and down? I believe it's here, so okay, somewhere. Around here? Maybe? Oh God. I do like the fact that they gave the flying body something really funny though.
Well, most people would choose that if they didn't know what they were looking at.
Yeah. Let's choose the lines here. It's the wire connected to the bridge. The wire. Huh. Is that thing that really contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. Yeah. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But the actual Dusky Bridge... Jumping Jehoshaphat! The wires are below the guard wires. What? Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's been depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely the artist just saw it wrong?
Perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. I'm just right! With someone like Clarice, I admit a mistake is definitely possible. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Clarice was doing when he witnessed the event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning struck from the sky and set the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Clarice must have been at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back! I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. If that's the reason why the wires of the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! No way. Clarice de Menem witnessed the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene he saw was actually upside down. So then, the sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view the Clarice de Menem sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, like a pendulum. Ridiculous. Order. Of all the things to say, a pendulum. The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no other way to get it across. When the body had been found in the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across the other side, and a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a moment, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple at the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds about right. In order to cover that distance of a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead. The lightning struck at the night could only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared a rope beforehand. So then... they didn't have to get a rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal you had the rope to create a pendulum? I mean... right there. And the meaning of this is... if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right in front of your glorious beard. Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suppression wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise de Menem's body. Jesus Christ. Woo! Yeet!
Eat the corpse.
Because there's simply no other way to move the body. Huh. Mr. Godot. Seems Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of the rope being really were very high. Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence the body was swung over like a pendulum? The autopsy report. The body fell 10 feet after death. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it comes from the front of the temple. So then that was the spot with the criminal. Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead again. Here. It would have dropped the opposite bank approximately at this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body was dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that the body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum when they came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Miss Elise de Minim's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on the overhead map. The crystal was found... Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot the pendulum would have arrived if given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way that the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. White. Most impressive. Mr. Wright! I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was dark and... Fuck you. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, what could that be? The... Fuck you! Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee sense. Can you elaborate a bit more? The criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say. Then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, trite? Mr. Godot's correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it across the trip without being an accomplice. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person who received... Yeah. It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? But I
don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge was a snowmobile. But with her bad back, Mr. Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Trite. We're even listening to the witness's testimony. On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner guard after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness has also been seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in 2 different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using a sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burned-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this has occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about the whole thing, unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What?
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is? There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been 6 or 7 this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin the murder on Maya. The woman that's standing before the witness stand, her real name is Talia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne! Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
Sorry, 1 second. The honor's all mine!
God.
No, the honor's all mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead, since her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this court. What? Order, order, order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand, after all, the blood of the master of the Korean channeling technique flows within that body. The Korean channeling technique? Now where have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. Which one? What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yes! We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that happens. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. A part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even at the time the channeling was planned out, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means that Iris was at the dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me the hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris in the bikini saw the temple was someone else dressed as her naturally, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plants that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing before us is the real Iris. What? What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to lightning strike.
Wahoo! It's time to fly!
Yeet! I love that they just like yeet the body over. It was later the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. They found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that.
Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
But something still seems off. Way off. I'm not convinced that this Iris is the same one as the other night. Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Welcome back, Remus. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know this. That unless we confirm the witness identity, we can't continue this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means we must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, there's a time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple. There have been many chances. Have there been any chances? There was one. Oh, sorry. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely unsupervised. Well, who was with it? Who was it? Who would give the murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm so sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to move around freely was... Oh, I'm so sorry, hubby. This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake?
Earthquake? Oh my goodness, the inner temple. This kind of tremor might.
How could I have? She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, we're almost done. We're just gonna get this done. That's quite enough, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would ever...
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice! I guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession? Permanently retired.
Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. Never thought we'd meet again. I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. Alright, and that's where we're leaving off.
Yeah. Sorry it went late this time, but I was like, there's gonna be a real good safe spot, and you're gonna want to deal with this.
For sure. I'm excited for the next part, because I imagine there's only like the 1 or 2 parts at max after this.
We'll see.
But I'm ready. Alright, guys. Thank you very much for joining on with me today. I'm a little tired. I'm not going to rate anyone because I'm just going to head on off at this point. I hope you all had a fantastic day. Thank you, Katie, for joining with me. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Y'all stay safe, stay Botanist Cool, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.